But I'm going to say your work is not a bad place to be. The backside at Colonial Downs is a beautiful view. Obviously, looking at horses is nothing that I'll ever complain about.
Yeah, I think you're right at the 7/8 pole. If I saw when you moved aside there, it looked like you were right where
yep.
Since there's 3 courses, there's 3 sets of poles, and it's remarkably confusing as an announcer sometimes to know on the turf. One, because it's a 1.25 mile dirt oval, and so like the 5 furlong pole is like almost into the turn, and so it takes a little getting used to. But Colonial is, as you can see, it's really, really beautiful there.
Well, how was your first day then yesterday? I mean, the crowd was awesome. It was so cool to be here at opening day in general, but the vibe was great. So how was your first day announcing at Colonial Downs?
By opening day standards, it was not too bad for me. My day went smooth. I know, there's always going to be stuff that happens opening day, things that aren't working or things that just you forget to set up or whatever. But no, it was upstairs. It was pretty smooth. The races were all they were interesting. We had some goofy stuff going on the second half of the card with long shots, but I think I saw the pick 4 pay like $60,000 or $70,000.
Yes, and of course I gave out one winner and then I got cold feet and I canceled my bet, which I tell people never to do, and I freaking did it, and it was the 7 horse that won. I think in pay, I think it was like 7-1 or something. So,
I tabbed a puppy monkey baby, so I got to brag yesterday. I had a 24-1 shot, so I'm good for a few days.
Nice. Okay, well, hopefully you're going to give us some winners. So you've got a few horses that you're going to give must-haves in your stable. I've got 3. So you said you've got one in the first. Who's your first?
Yeah, the first race, the number 11, breaking all the way from the outside, Salmon Style for Ferris Allen. The horse, they ran him on the turf twice to start his career, and he ran pretty damn good. And then they washed off. He's run 2 races on the dirt that were just abysmal. And so I'm hoping that people focus a little more on those and not the turf race. I don't think he's going to be any kind of huge price, but he's 6-1 in the morning line. And the nice thing about big fields is sometimes you can still get, a little bit of a price on a horse that maybe is the 3rd or 4th choice or something like that. So he was kind of where I was going in the opener.
Well, 6-1 is only costing you $5,000 in the StableDuel app. So you could say that that's a middle of the road value pick. So not a bad one to pick. I'm definitely going a value pick in race 5. Frankincense, the 12, 10-1 morning line. So it's going to cost you $1,000 in your StableDuel. If you look at his last race, 7 beaten by 11.5, but bobbled at the start. So I'm going to throw that one out. Won the race before that in a little bit of a higher class, claiming 12.5. So for $1,000, I would put this horse. You're going to have to pick value picks. So who do you have in the 5th?
Yeah, Forrest Boyce does a really, really good job here at Colonial Downs too, and so I actually like your pick there. I went out with a price as well, 15-1 shot, the number 4, No Regrets. The last race at Penn, I thought was okay, and from a speed figure standpoint, I thought that this one's best efforts. It's been pretty consistent, this horse. And the last 2 on the turf have both been good. Made the lead in the stretch at Monmouth, but just got caught late, and so I thought at a really big price, this one was kind of interesting. It goes for a new barn who's decent with the first-time arrivals in the barn. Okay. Kimberly Gracie's 15% when she gets a new horse, and she's pretty good shipping. So, and Caramanos won 3 yesterday, so maybe he's in good form. And so, yeah.
So have you seen the movie We're the Millers? Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
The Millers?
We're the Millers. It's like where they take the RV to like.
It's the No Regrets guy. The No Regrets.
When I saw that, I was like, no regrets.
No, I was saying, because he spells it wrong, right? He says no regrets or something like that. Yeah,
I got no regrets.
I got my program. I've been doing my memorization this morning, and the same thing. I was just like, no regrets.
Yeah, so. No regrets. Yeah, you should have one. I think is the next line or something. All right, so race 6, I'm going with the number 1 horse, Quid, and I actually really like that name. 6-1, it's $5,000 in the StableDuel. Speed figures are just really good, and I'm a speed figure girl. Not a lot to love here, if you ask me, but I think there's a lot of horses that it's not a lot to love on their form, but 92,000 allowance is its last time, so it is dropping back to a 60,000 allowance. So I'm hoping that drop down is going to give a little bit of a head start for this one. Did you pick anything in the race 6?
Yeah, well, I liked Palio, who's the favorite at 3-1, but I was going to say that the New York shippers as a whole have always fared pretty well here, and it makes sense, right? It's some of the top class racing in the country, but there's an interesting horse in here that I didn't pick, but is just kind of interesting. Salaga Bay, who's running jump races the last couple, but had been stakes placed and and broke the maiden here, but was stakes placed over at Laurel like 3 starts back. And so I thought that was interesting that they ran so well in the stakes. In fact, they were beaten in neck by Largent, who went on to run second in the Pegasus World Cup turf. So some odd movement on this one. But yeah, Palio, the one I liked I just thought it was a really good effort. I went back and watched the replay and just, broke toward the outside, got over into a good spot. And Mike Stidham is our 2-time defending champion. He didn't strike on opening day, but I would think he'd be getting close.
Well, maybe today's his day. I'm sure you can hear this. So they're going to water down the track and get ready for race day, I think, unless there's an extra break. I'm not really sure.
I think they're done. I think 8 to 8:30 is the break, and then 10's done.
It's really pretty here. Guys, if you've never been to Colonial Downs, so went to Richmond last night, stayed in Richmond, a really pretty town, like cobblestone roads. The track in general, I didn't play any slots. Normally I like to get a little bit of the casino fix. I didn't play any slots this time. Casino's nice. Beautiful room upstairs on the 4th floor. 1609, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, really, really good food. So if you all want to take a weekend, come to New Kent, Virginia, and check out Colonial Downs.
If I remember correctly, there's not a single hotel room in the entire New Kent County.
No, well, so I met somebody on track, and there's a bed and breakfast they said is really, really cute, 5 minutes away. So there is a bed and breakfast, and if anybody likes that vibe. But
because half the people stay in Richmond and half stay in Williamsburg. They're both about 25 miles away, and I'm the Richmond half. But it's I like having the drive out there. You get to kind of decompress after the races when you're coming home, and so it's very, very pastoral.
Okay, so I've got one more pick. I'm going in the 7th race. I'm going with Rolling Fork, the 2-horse, 5-1. It's going to cost you $6,000. John Ortiz is the trainer. I think that this horse not only can win, but if you look at the form, this horse does like to finish close to the front. There is one where it won by 7 1/4 lengths. I mean, I would take that all day in my StableDuel, but I mean, you've got 2 beaten by a length, 4th 4 1/4 length. I think that this horse for $6,000 is worth the money and hopefully is going to win or at least finish towards the front. So that's where I went with this one. Good works as well. 38 and 3 could go a little faster, but I don't mind that. And maybe he doesn't like to push his horses. So did you look at race 7?
Yeah, race 7. The one I liked this is the last one I liked was the number 4. He's in charge, and this is an Al Stall horse, but this is kind of a trip play just because last time the horse, if you watch the race, had kind of a bad start and then rushed up into what was a pretty fast pace, 21 and 3 and 44 and 4, and I thought kind of rightfully faded late. And I'm hoping that people will see 4th beaten 8 and maybe dismiss the horse a little bit because the previous 3 races the horse had run were all I thought really, really good. So I actually quite like this one, probably the one I like the most of the day, and hopefully the price sticks somewhere near. Well, I think it'll go down a touch, but we'll see.
So that's your pick of the day. So number 4 in race 7. Okay,
he's in charge.
You should be writing this down.
Yeah, Miguel Mena, and I think Miguel. He was flying over this morning, so it seemed like we had every jock on the East Coast here yesterday.
Yeah, you had a bunch of ship-ins yesterday.
Yeah.
Flo was here.
Paco
was here. I think Paco's riding 1 today. I think that's it. There was a good jockey count. Okay, so now I got to ask you, so how you said that you were preparing for today by memorizing the names. So what do you do to prepare each day for race day?
So I color my program. I'll hold it kind of close up. You can see I got the saddle towel colors on that side and the silks on the other side. And I'll sit in my little chair here and just go through and memorize them just so I start associating the horse's name with the silk colors, especially with 14 horse fields here. Tampa, I get a little bit of a cheat code because they put the color-coded caps on the jocks. Mm-hmm. But here we don't. And so when there's 13 or 14 of them and they're stacked across the track, you kind of have to really have those colors ingrained, and a little flash of blue or a flash of orange or something will really help you identify who somebody might be. And so it's a lot of name association. Because people ask me about handicap the race. I don't handicap the races I call all that much because I'm so focused on the names and memorizing and stuff. And I also don't want to have any kind of predisposed opinions. Certainly you want to know who the pace setters are and, if anybody's going for 5 in a row or something like that. But for the most part, I just want to report what's happening out there. And memorizing to me is the most important part of doing that.
So do you run through each race through all the names one time and you get the name? Okay.
It takes a while, but by the end of a meet, if you're at a long meet, like when I used to do Portland, it was a 6-month meet. By the third month, like every horse,
The
every
horses.
syllable, it's 2 seconds. But here, it's such a convergence meet. Like everybody's coming from everywhere, so it takes a little while here. And there's just bigger fields too. But I've got I feel like it's a useful skill for like just keeping your brain going. Like people do crossword puzzles. This is my crossword puzzle.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I think, when it's an exciting race, you can definitely tell through the announcers like that you're just as excited as everyone else. Yeah. And I love that. Like when you get to the finish line and you're yelling, so give me like 3 of your go-to phrases. Do you have like 3 words that you use? Like, wire to wire, whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge, it's funny. The catchphrase, it seems like is kind of dying out. Like Trevor and a lot of those guys from the 80s and 90s and stuff, that was like a huge part of their thing. I don't really have a whole lot. I kind of just pull whatever. There was one yesterday I actually scripted one out. I rarely do that, but I thought it was like so appropriate. And then the horse ran completely off track. It was for Chess Chief, who was like this big favorite who was trying to turf. I was going to say to turf or not to turf, that is the question, and Chess Chief answered it, and then he was last.
No, he didn't show up. He was actually one that I was going to leave out of my stable, so I was good on that one.
Yeah, the horses do not care about my preparation.
Well, thank you so much, for coming on, handicapping a few, and doing a Cup of Colonial with me while I was here. And, we'll be listening for every race today and tomorrow and next week.
All right. Thanks, Bree.
Thanks, Jason. Take care.
Bye.